And you don't want to take another story. The Kenya Airports Authority today kicks off talks on Kenya Airways' proposal to manage the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport as part of restructuring aimed at revitalizing its business. Kenya Airports Authority's union workers are, however, opposing the plan. Faisal Ahmed is now at the airport. Faisal Ahmed, good morning. We see this proposal that KQ wants to manage KAA. What is the reason, and why are the workers opposed to it?
Thank you very much, Sam. As you have rightfully stated, the workers are against the merger between KAA and KQ, which will mean that KQ will run the JKIA airport. Some of the details of the proposal include laying off some of the KAA workers and issuing them with new contracts. However, the workers, as you can see behind me, are against this. And now I'm with the Secretary General of the Kenya Airlines Workers Union. Thank you very much, Bwana Mos and Diema. Maybe if you could just highlight to us, why is it that you are against the takeover of JKIA by KQ?
Thank you, Faisal. Let me first of all correct you and say that the union that is here today is Kenya Aviation Workers Union. It's not airlines something. And the reason why we are opposed to this, the very fundamental reason, is that it is an exercise that is being conducted secretly. Kenya Airports Authority is a public entity owned 100% by the government of Kenya on behalf of Kenyans. Then there is a transaction, there is a process to transfer it. It is being said so to Kenya Airways without involving all stakeholders, including the trade union, without involving other players within JKIA, and without disclosing what information is contained in the so-called PIIP proposal, the it's privately initiated investment proposal from Kenya Airways. We need to know what is in there. What is the rationale? How is it going to benefit Kenya Airways? As it is, that document is being held only by Kenya Airways and one Mr. Anderson, Johnny Anderson at KAA. Kenyans do not know what is in there. Yet, they are hyping it. They are saying that this merger, yet it's not even a merger, it's a takeover, that this takeover will help Kenya Airways. How? As Kenyans, we are saying how? In fact, our simple, plain understanding is Kenya Airways is a private entity. They are shareholders. You know, it is a business entity owned by individuals. KAA, on the other side, is a public entity. So you are transferring JKIA to Kenya Airways. It will generate some profits. So where will that money end up? In whose pocket exactly? Because who is KQ? The government sits in the board of Kenya Airways in a private capacity as an investor, not as government. So eventually, they are saying that some individuals, not even Kenyans, some people somewhere seated in Europe, China, in the USA, are going to benefit from what will be generated from JKIA. And we have a problem with that. So that is the reason why we are saying that as a union, we will oppose this move. And let me just mention this, that on 23rd, which was last week on Wednesday, KAA duped employees. And I want to be very specific. Johnny Anderson issued a memo inviting employees for a staff assembly. Then he demanded that every employee must sign up the attendance list. Little did they know that later on, that process will be converted into a public participation event. Now, what kind of a process is that? What kind of a process is that? Because public participation must be based on the proposal from Kenya Airways. Nobody has that proposal as we speak. So you expect Kenyans to engage based on what? Tomorrow there is going to be a public participation session in Kisumu. My question, and what I'm telling Kenyans is, based on what information are you going to engage?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. Sam, that was Moses Ndiema, the Secretary General of KAU, and you've heard some of the sentiments that he has had to highlight. We'll keep you up to date on the story as it continues to develop. As you can see behind me, there's a very large group of JKIA staff, some of them who also staff of the Kenya Airports Authority, and we will keep you up to date as it continues to develop. Back to you, Sam.
Right, but Faisal, just before you go, I understand that the basis why they want KQ to manage JKIA is so that to help with the revenues. But when you look at other airlines, successful airlines, for instance, Fly Emirates, do they manage Dubai International Airport? Does Ethiopian Airlines manage Bole International Airport?
Sam, it is some airlines rather globally that do manage international airports. As you've said, Ethiopia does manage Bole International Airport, but also remember Ethiopian Airlines is solely owned by the government, and the airport as well belongs to the government. So it is an intergovernment relationship in that particular case. But in the case of KQ and JKIA and KAA, this is a private entity owned 30% by the government, who also sit on the board of KQ as shareholders. And it is a bit tricky, and there are some issues that we saw in the proposal which was sent to us by someone who was in the meeting, which we will discuss later on. But from that proposal, it seems that KAA and KAA and KQ are going to be in a joint partnership to manage the airport, but KQ will be profiting from the merger. Sam.
All right, thank you so much, Faisal Ahmed, there reporting to us from the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. We'll be sure to listen to you more later on as we get to analyze the impact of what that will